This action-packed episode is brought to you by the Bacon Smokehouse Burger. It's the newest flavor of the signature crafted recipes by McDonald's.
Hey, and welcome to Honest Trailer Commentaries, the show where we rewatch an honest trailer and expand on our pithy little jokes with long, drawn-out digressions that don't necessarily go anywhere. I'm here, as always, with Joe Starr, Dan Murrell, and Ant-Man director Peyton Reed.
Hello. How are you all?
What?
Very excellent.
What are we doing here today?
What?
What's going on today?
Thank you so much for joining us. We, in anticipation of Ant-Man and the Wasp, which we are all highly anticipating, we thought we'd revisit.
You said ant twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
double ant.
Well done.
We are going to revisit the honest trailer for Ant-Man. Feel free to call us out at any point if we ever got anything wrong. Just say pause, tell us why we're idiots. And though you are in a room full of Ant-Man, if not lovers, then certainly passionate defenders, we had to crack some jokes about it. So
All right, let's do it.
If they're not honest, you be the judge.
The
Okay.
Russos spared us no mercy, so we would expect no different.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, let's go.
Let's go right in.
Tiny honest trailer.
Yep, no, I get it.
From Edgar Wright. Until
pause.
he refuses.
I'm sure no one's ever asked you about this.
Yeah, Edgar Wright actually did not end up directing Ant-Man,
Yes.
so I'm gonna call bullshit on that. that's not honest. Okay, let's go.
This is true. Well, to finish the line that it says, it's from Edgar Wright until he refused to get in line, which I believe is an exaggeration of what occurred. But just out of curiosity, he still has writer credit on the movie or producer credit or what?
Yeah, he has co-writer credit with Joe Cornish.
Yeah.
And I believe executive producer credit on the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if you don't mind telling us, what if Edgar Wright remains in this film, or is what if his spirit lives on?
Roll the film. Let's go. We'll go shop it.
From the top.
Basically, Edgar and Joe wrote drafts and drafts for several years of that movie, and the general idea of doing Ant-Man as a heist movie was always Edgar and Joe's, which was a great idea, obviously. As it went along, I think from the time they started, I believe, you guys may know better than me, that they started writing that around the time maybe they were developing Iron Man 1, like really early on in the Marvel.
Incredible
MCU.
Hulk, Dark Days.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the MCU.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know how much crosstalk there was at the time at Marvel between what was going on between Iron Man and Ant-Man script-wise. But there are a lot of parallels in terms of, which we're going to get into in your honest trailer, by the way. Villain, antagonist with the same power set as the hero, that sort of stuff. Super scientist, industrialist, all that sort of stuff. So I think part of the thing about, I don't really pretend to know what all the creative differences between Edgar and Marvel were, other than really what Edgar has said, which is, I wanted to make an Edgar Wright movie, they wanted to make a Marvel movie. But really, by the time he'd gone off and I think done 3 other movies, and the MCU had really fundamentally changed in the intervening time. So he decided he could not make the movie he wanted to make.
His was just 2 hours of Nick Frost in a pub.
Yes,
Just talking about vinyl
talking
records.
about Ant-Man and drinking.
I'd watch that.
Yes, and whip panning between the drinks. And so now when I came on, Adam McKay and Rudd came on, and Rudd was already on, obviously, but they were reworking the script. So we all worked together, and McKay and I were huge Marvel fans, and there were several elements that weren't in any of those early drafts, which is we wanted to introduce the microverse from the comics, the quantum realm. And we both missed Janet. We liked the idea of Janet Van Dyne and kind of doing this more generational thing. And there was really no mention of Janet at all in those early versions of the thing.
So it was already Hank as mentor, Scott Lang as...
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. That was always baked into Edgar and Joe's drafts. And there'd been a lot of talk, too, about, I think Joss Whedon had wanted Ant-Man, if not Ant-Man and Wasp and Avengers, and kind of wasn't allowed to at the time because they were hanging on to it for the first Ant-Man. So we liked the idea of doing this thing that was not only sort of, a generational thing with Hank and Scott, but also alluding to the loss of Janet and really how that affected Hank and Hope's relationship. That seemed really strong to us.
Awesome.
And then I'm trying to think what else. There were a bunch of Scott's crew of the ex-cons was a lot of guys. Like my memory is like there were maybe 6 or 7 different of
Like
of
a
the
full
people.
heist crew, like
full heist
the
crew.
guy that's eating all the time.
Yeah,
the guy that
the guy
acrobat.
Yeah. There was a whole
Ocean's 11.
whole massive group of people, and we sort of ended up paring that down and really putting more of a focus on Luis and building him up as a character and giving I think it was McKay who came up with the idea of like he was very paternalistic and served waffles to the guys, and then all the Baskin Robbins stuff, and then the idea that there were I think it was Bearer and Ferrari who were writers who are credited on Ant-Man and the Wasp, who came in and did uncredited work later on the first Ant-Man. They sort of we came up with the idea of these tip montages for Michael Pena.
So good.
And those guys sort of wrote those in the first movie, and Rudd as well. So that sort of stuff came about sort of later.
Awesome. All right, well, let's keep going with the trailer. See what
We're
else
like
pops
1
up.
second in. To the
Yeah,
trailer here.
1 second.
Edgar Wright, until he refused to get in line. Comes a movie based on a superhero so ridiculous, you'll swear Marvel's choosing their projects on a dare.
Pause.
Ant-Man.
That was always something too that was baked in that you couldn't ignore in Ant-Man. Like, okay, wait, what's Ant-Man about? Well, he shrinks down. And he's really small. He flies around on an ant.
Talks to ants.
Yeah, talks to ants. You can control them. It's like, well, great. What you can control ants. What do you tell them not to infest your house or something? Like, what's cool about that? And that was always a huge challenge of the movie. Is sort of like the tone is sort of baked in. It's inherently absurd, and that was something that we continued to have a lot of fun with.
I'd like to see the serious,
Oh, me too.
Gritty Ant-Man.
I hope there's like
DCEU.
I want to get a tweet from somebody saying like, oh, you screwed it up. I'm financing my own Ant-Man and the Wasp. And we're gonna do this
Remake
thing
Ant-Man
right,
and the
man.
Wasp.
We're gonna
Strike it
do
from
this
the
thing
cannon.
right. We're gonna go gritty with this thing. It's like, yeah,
With
I
our
wanna see
community
that.
of writers.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's keep going.
Man. You've seen Marvel movies based on green giants, Norse gods, and these weirdos. Now, get ready for a hero so silly, no one can even keep a straight face when they say his dumb name.
Like you said with the tone, they just lean into it.
Yep. Yep.
Is
There
it
they
time
are.
to change the name?
In this super-powered heist film that, against all odds, actually kind of works. I mean, it's still more believable than
shucks.
letting someone join the Avengers just because they're good with a bow and arrow, right?
You'll notice when
Pause.
we
Pause.
God joke.
Cheap shot, guys.
when we don't have
Cheap. Come on. That's low hanging fruit. A Hawkeye joke.
this was pre-Ultron, I think. No,
This was post Ultron. Ant-Man came
Post-Ultron,
out.
okay.
The Ultron came out. Then Ant-Man came out. So this was post
This is
Ultron.
post-Ultron.
You're right. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
That's
You know
just
what
lazy
happened
writing.
was we were very nice to Hawkeye with Ultron, and so I think we thought we had to balance the force a little bit.
I mean, there was probably a mandate.
force.
Give Hawkeye something to do in Age of Ultron. They did it. You guys still took the pot shot.
Here's
Let's keep
the
going.
thing. Here's the problem: is the
liked
and this is
the movie.
another backhanded compliment. Is
Yeah.
when the movie's good, it's hard to make jokes about it. So you deflect. You go for Hawkeye.
Okay,
He's-
great.
Yeah.
Easy,
You do things
easy
like
target.
compare the plot to other movies, and then you sucked up 30 seconds of your honest trailer. These are the things we fall back on.
I love it.
Sorry, Jeremy Renner.
Yep.
All right, keep going.
All right? Meet Scott Lang.
Say yes, Scott.
Wait, nope, not that
Pause.
one. Yeah.
Behind the Candelabra haunted us as we were shooting the movie and only occurred to us later because Hank Tim, Scott, we have Michael Douglas. And one of the first times on set when Michael Douglas says, all right, Scott, we've got this quantum thing, Scott. But Rudd and I looked at each other, was like, holy shit. Was the guy's name Scott in Behind the Candelabra? It was. And it sort of haunted us, this thing where Rudd would always do the Candelabra version of Michael Douglas.
That makes me happy because
Yeah.
we say Scott in a chorus here.
We do.
Yeah.
Scott.
Oh yeah,
Scott.
the week Candelabra came out was a big week for us.
It's a good week at the
That was
office.
our Ant-Man. Anyways, keep going.
Yep.
Yes, Scott.
Wait, nope, not that one. Yeah, that's the guy. A master thief who gets busted every time he tries to get away with anything.
It's true.
Yeah, it's busted about 3 times in the
His
movie.
life will change when he
about
meets
heart.
Hank Pym, the billionaire industrialist who lost control of his company to a bald former ally who betrays
Pause.
him.
You use bald as a pejorative there.
Well, I was going to say,
bald.
what are you are doing more to further the stereotype of bald men being evil?
Yeah. I know. I had mixed feelings about that. It kept me up many nights. I can't do this.
Is that like a sad reflection
We
thing?
shot, actually, weirdly, we shot 3 weeks with Darren Cross in a Beatles wig, and then it did not work. We had to go back and reshoot it. So
I thought you could do like a Justice League thing where you would just CGI out the hair.
oh, yeah, that would have been good actually.
Yeah,
just this weird.
I believe because I think
wrinkled,
that
fleshy hair deal on his head.
For the same reason, I fought back against the. I was like, why do we have to point out that he's bald? And I think it's only because we have to then tie it into Ant-Man. I'm sorry,
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yep. I get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
At least he wasn't on a Segway.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's true.
Anyways, keep going.
Who betrays him and plots to use his advanced suit technology for evil. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it's the exact same premise as the first Iron Man movie.
Pause. Can you go back to the shot of? Yeah, look at that. I woke up this morning and knowing I was going to come here, and I looked in the mirror, and it's like, well, I've got this gray beard. I look like a sort of malnourished version of Jeff Bridges in this trailer, and that's not going to go over well. There are obvious parallels between the plot of Iron Man 1 and Ant-Man 1, and I think it's something that was baked into Edgar Joe's draft from the beginning. By the time I came on, it was so fundamentally a part of the movie that you couldn't really change it, and which at times was very frustrating because there was a real self-awareness of like, well, you guys have done this before. So it was trying to do anything that we could do at that point and kind of like, hey, look over here, this is different. That was to me the single trickiest thing about Ant-Man 1 that you have so deftly pointed out in your honest trailer. Okay.
But I mean, yeah, like you're saying, development timelines like this had been set. They were being written around the same time.
Yeah.
So
Before there was an MCU.
Yeah, exactly.
There are little touches you put in that I really love, like Michael Douglas being like, "This isn't just guns on a suit. This is real science."
Yeah, exactly.
But if you, it's a much more boring movie if he develops the shrinking technology to like help Amazon ship, Postmates faster. You got to build a tiny suit, otherwise, how are you going to fight at
I
the
would
end?
like to see that movie actually. Just the mundane.
The logistics
Guys?
shipping company version of Ant-Man is not my fave. All right, let's keep watching.
If it ain't broke.
I mean, seriously, it even has that friend staring at the suit they'll wear in the sequel moment.
Next time, baby.
It's about damn time.
Pause.
Not for you, Terrence.
Pause.
Yeah,
Things worked out better for Evangeline Lilly and her look at the suit than I guess it did from Terrence Howard. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. Did she ever come up and say like, please don't Terrence Howard me? I got to look at it and I said I was going to wear it and I want to wear it.
I actually said that to her just to sort of keep
okay.
her in line.
That's fair.
You don't want to get Terrence Howarded.
No one does. No. All right, keep going.
Thrill at amazing visual effects that make 70-year-old Michael Douglas look like 60-year-old Michael Douglas.
Pause it. Best joke in the honest trailer.
Thank you.
Killed me. This was, I think I said before, like this is the most terrifying effect in a movie filled with visual effects, the sort of youthification thing.
Yeah, because you were the first one to do it, right? Because they've done it in Civil War. They did, they've
Like
done it
Rogue
in-
One. Well, no, that was like rebuilding.
Yeah. But like in the MCU, I
They did it
think
in Guardians
you were the
2.
first one to do that.
Yeah, in the MCU and with this methodology, we were the first one to do it. And it's the weirdest thing because we didn't like choose to do it on some unknown actor. It's Michael Douglas. Everybody knows what he looked like 30 years ago. And it's an effect that like when you're in visual effect review and you're watching the shot as it progresses, it's the worst, most horrible, horrifying thing until it gets to where it gets.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because it really just has this uncanny valley thing, and it's weird, and it's a very sophisticated thing. And we do more of it in the new movie, and it's equally terrifying. I think that was the last visual effect that came in on the movie.
Wow.
Because they take so long, and it was one of the first. It was in the first scene of the movie, and it terrified me because like if the audience is like from the get-go like, oh, get me out of here. But the first shot of the movie, it's not really good for your
Do you have
movie.
someone on the side just like rotoscoping him out of Wall Street just as a backup?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you
Wall Street's
think?
a San
Hank?
Francisco
Greed is
episode.
good. Okay, that's weird.
We don't need to change the
Alright.
line. Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Okay, keep going.
And has harmless locations pulse with epic danger, like a briefcase, a toy train
The set
set,
pieces were so
and
great.
Michael Pena's junk. In some of
Pause,
the most
please. Rudd felt there was a crucial shot missing in this scene, which obviously we never shot, but it really, he's like, come on, man, let's push it. Let's actually see what it would look like from Ant-Man's perspective as Michael Pena gets undressed, and we were voted down on that. But that discussion did happen on set.
But in 3D, that would have been
That would
something
have been
else.
amazing.
IMAX 3D.
I just wish Kevin Feige would give you guys more creative, man.
Yeah, man.
We could have gotten it.
We were really straitjacketed on that particular shot.
All right, keep going.
In some of the most high-stakes fights between tiny people since Frodo versus Gollum, proving
Yep,
Marvel
I'll take
still
that.
hasn't run out of ways for guys to punch each other in the face. Or in this movie's case, sucker
Counted
punch.
6 sucker punches in the movie.
your face.
You okay? Did
All right, pause. I did not realize until this honest trailer that we had that many sucker punches in the movie. I really didn't. I knew we had a couple, or 2 or 3. And it's so hyper violent and great. I stand by every one of those sucker punches, and in fact, wish that we'd had a couple more.
It's an effective comedy strategy.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if we have any sucker punches in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think
You got to see it, Dan. You see
I'm
any?
trying to
sucker
think.
punches? Any
I
sucker-
think
I
there
don't-
might be. I
might
remember
be one Wasp sucker
I remember
punch.
Michael Pena gets a good punch in, but I don't remember if it is a sucker punch.
That
or
would
if it's
qualify
just
as a sucker
good-
punch. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's
I
true.
really hope
Yeah.
that's how Avengers 4 wraps up with
Sucker
Ant-Man
punch
sucker
Thanos.
punching Thanos.
Santa Van Dyne
Gotcha.
Spoiler, I've read the script. That is what happened.
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. You-
By the
breaking
way,
news.
everyone's going to run with that now. Yeah, you're going to see that in Vulture tomorrow.
Keep
Perfect.
going.
Show
That's how you punch.
Prepare for a movie that would be really stale without Paul Rudd doing Paul Rudd things. Because most
true
of
of
it is
everything.
Hank Pym yammering on about some boring science crap.
Pause. Pause. That's true. he in the first movie is a walking exposition machine, and one of the things that I promised Michael in the second movie is we're going to give you, you've seen it, slightly less pseudoscience to talk about. And another promise I made is we're going to actually give you a couple of jokes in this movie and actually some real action, like that's crucial to the plot.
Well,
You
they
remember-
call out the science talk in the
Yeah,
second
yeah,
one,
yeah. Yeah, and that's always the sort of the Rudd thing is you know, is being a step behind in terms of the science and hopefully echoing how the audience is feeling about it. But
Someone's got to do it because every Marvel movie, like, it's not just there's Norse gods. It's like, well, what you call magic is actually science. Like, all right,
walk over here with me and look at the chalkboard. I mean, but if you're gonna do it, to hear it come out of Michael Douglas's mouth is the way to do
That's
it.
the best way. All right, keep going.
Electromagnetic waves to stimulate their olfactory nerve center. You must retrieve this prototype of a signal decoy. I created a formula that altered atomic relative distance.
Yep.
She turned off her regulator and went subatomic.
But separates
Pause.
itself.
Yeah, he
I like how I like how you had the one that goes to the really tender emotional
that was some
exposition.
heavy exposition.
That was a
right
different flavor. It was just like there was a nice lilt on that delivery.
there. All right, foul ball on us.
Yeah.
keep going.
From the other 11 MCU movies with a few unique twists, like making another schlubby comedian get abs for a superhero role.
Pause.
Actually getting
Paul, they just referred to you as schlubby. You know where to find these guys. That's your. I can't. You should handle that.
I don't know, clueless Paul Rudd. I mean, look, he's
Schlubby?
always been hot.
Yeah,
but like
come
he's
on.
not. You don't think
Frustratingly
Paul
hot.
Rudd and think
Ripped.
What's
Rich.
the schlubbiest he's been in a movie?
Anchorman?
Anchorman 2.
Yeah, Anchorman.
Yeah, Hank Pym too.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking man. We're desperate.
Yeah.
Keep
I'm gonna
going.
be in trouble.
Wow, look at that.
Reaching for parallels
Yeah.
as always.
actually getting you to care about disgusting insect monsters. No, not Anthony.
And pause. Disgusting insect monsters.
Who likes ants?
This is, this was Anthony. This was one of the things we wanted to do in the movie was see if we could actually get some weird, genuine emotion out of killing an ant, a thing that we do almost daily in our real lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that we succeeded, and we sort of riff on it in the new movie in a way that we treat it a little more callously in the second movie. No spoilers.
Well, can't wait.
You named it. You pulled it off.
Yeah, I now hesitate slightly before I kill an ant.
Yeah.
But only slightly.
You still kill it, but you hesitate.
Oh, they're going down.
We named a spider in our apartment. That's on you.
Oh, nice.
Keep going.
Oh man, I like that one because he had a name. And saying the one thing everyone's been yelling at the screen since Phase 2 started.
I think our first move should be calling the Avengers.
So strap in
Yep,
for the best
yep.
micro movie since Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. As Marvel
Boss.
proves one
We actually at one point attempted to get a Rick Moranis cameo in the first Ant-Man.
That was my next question.
Still during the period, I think, where he wasn't doing so much acting. I think he's now going to be on the SCTV Scorsese-directed thing, which I'm super psyched about.
Awesome.
But always still an unchecked box for me.
Part 3.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp and Rick Moranis.
Scott Lang's dad.
Honey, I Blew Up the Ant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
All right.
Keep going.
I Shrunk the Kids, as Marvel proves once again they can literally sell you anything, and they don't even have to try that hard
So
to
many
sell
questions.
it.
This is really the only thing I care about is how did this happen?
Yep.
What is this?
Where were they?
Pause. Pause. Okay, let's dissect this.
Yes.
By far, everybody's favorite of all the sort of 30-second spots that were created for Ant-Man, this is my favorite because it's just nuts. And if I could figure out a way to actually put it in the movie, I would have it in the movie. And I think we were on some generic sort of stage where it's like, we're going to just do some promos. You know, Paul, we know you love to ad-lib and kind of, you don't have anything written? Oh, no. We thought you would just sort of ad-lib. And I think it was Paul sort of like, let's just do an Ant song. And they started doing Ants. And then Michael jumped in. And that became this 30-second spot that like showed up everywhere. Ants. And people did memes of it. And, you know, people signed poster, Ants. And I think my memory of it is just there was literally no script. And Paul's like, I don't know, let's just start singing Ants.
Start playing Hambone instead of Ants.
Yeah, everyone loves Hambone.
That's a beautiful thing that it was just go riff, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Well, there you go. There we go. There's your answer.
Try that hard to sell it.
Worth watching again.
Ants.
And it also has that vibe. Has that beautiful vibe, pause, where it's just like they just had barely enough footage to cut that 30-second spot, repeat a couple of shots, and coming in. But it's insane. I love it.
I hope it won a Clio or something.
Yes.
Keep going.
I Love You, Matt. Tony Stark Sr.
Sure.
Wasp Machine.
Yeah.
The only Latino in the MCU.
Still.
Pause.
Time, yeah.
Is that technically true? I don't
At
even know.
that time, it was.
Certainly
We
when it
did
came
our
out.
research. At that time, that was true, and I'm trying to
Trying to think
scroll through.
now.
There's been 36
subsequently,
movies
yeah.
since.
I just
Yeah.
I loved when they said when we just referenced to the other 11 movies in the MCU in this trailer. Like, wow, man, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're the 20th movie, man.
20th now. Yeah,
Ant-Man Wasp
really?
is 20, yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's a long-run TV series right there.
It's kind of pudgy in this.
When's he gonna get abs?
Just saying.
T.I. as himself. Ads. The biggest Avenger they could get.
Please pause.
Did you get to pick your
You would?
Avenger?
Yeah, that was McKay, I think. We were talking about the idea that in the structure of a heist movie, there's always that sort of pre-heist trial by fire thing. And the comic book fans, in us, wanted to see this fight. And Falcon just seemed like the right level of hero that could come into the movie. We liked the idea of matching up those power sets for a fight, and also not big enough a hero that he was going to walk away with the movie in a weird way. So that's how that came about.
It works. It's natural to the plot because he is the one that they would just leave back at home to guard.
He's just
the base.
hanging out.
Circling.
We always talked about
birds.
we always
Go
talked about,
patrol.
do we shoot the shot of what Sam was doing minutes before this alarm was tripped? Was he just watching ESPN? What was he doing? I have no idea what he was doing.
Just watching
keep going.
unboxing videos.
Yeah.
Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
Two-man.
And disposable Marvel villain number 9.
Pause. Go back. Look at that suit. That suit.
Badass.
is
Sweet
great.
suit.
Disposable villain number 9. Who are the other?
I'm trying to think up to that point.
At that point,
it was
it's
the one
really 12
movies?
It was the one
Loki and Friends. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think Red Skull was probably in there, although that's
I like Red
subsequently
Skull.
is
I love
now.
Red Skull.
Yeah, I think it was more the one-off villain in the sense that
Yeah.
a villain who's in one movie and only one movie.
And you'll never see them again. Yeah.
Is
You
there
never see
ever a
them again.
conversation where you're like, hey, at some point we're gonna run out of bad guys, and can we not keep killing them?
Well, I mean, you guys are making a massive assumption. There's an assumption here that I'm not quite comfortable with. If you watch his death in the first Ant-Man, the suit is compromised. He shrinks and goes into a thing. I mean,
He could have gone
be-
subatomic somewhere in that.
Could be somewhere
quantum
down
realm,
there in that
perhaps.
quantum
Okay.
realm.
You just
Okay.
launched 20 news stories.
Hello, guys.
You'll never
huh?
guess what the Ant-Man director just revealed. Click
Could he
here.
still be alive down there?
Wow. Okay.
There you go.
Just throwing that out there.
Thank you for keeping our industry going for another
Yes,
week.
absolutely.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Tiny Iron Man.
Yeah.
We did hyphenate Iron Man.
No, that's true.
After this one, I cannot imagine these movies getting any strange. Oh yeah, forgot about that.
I think this movie weirder than Doctor Strange.
Yep.
In a strange,
Yeah?
in a weird way, yeah.
It's more like bizarre as far as the rest of the MCU.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quantum realm thing that we added, that was one of the things that it felt like, oh, we're doing so much shrinking and let's take it further in the third act. And it was something that McKay was really hyped about and I was really hyped about. So we had no idea it was really, we had hoped, but we had no idea if we were going to be able to do another movie. We just wanted to actually do that movie.
That's how you got to do it.
But then when we did, you know, it made a lot of sense to sort of expand on that. And as you've seen, and
Yes.
hopefully as you will see,
yes.
We're going to see it with the fans.
Yeah, with the real fans.
real people. Joe Lunch Pail.
Yeah.
The guys that are going to remake Ant-Man.
All of us keyboard trolls already saw it. You gotta wait for the real people to go see it.
Well, Mr. Reed, thank you so much for being a good sport about this. I know we want you to stick around. We'll wring some more sweet drops of content out of you, but thank you for going through this.
Absolutely.
And we really appreciate it. And we all love the first movie, so thanks for letting
And
us
I
make fun of
love
it.
I love what you guys are doing here with Honest. I love it. They make me laugh. More
We'll
so
take
than
it.
sometimes
Thanks,
the
man.
movies that you guys do.
Bring It On's next. Look out. Yeah. All right, we'll see you here next week at Honest Trailer Commentaries. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Today's episode brought to you by the Signature Crafted Recipes by McDonald's.